First thing, we've been very focused on the quality of content, I think, or content per se and quality of content. So we have invested ahead of time, whether it is Star Plus or Life OK, in the stories that we tell, in the amount of time and effort that we invest behind that content, and in ensuring that the quality of that content, be it the story, be it the dialogues, be it the editing, is done in a way, an investment is done in a way. So that, I think, is the biggest thing. I think the second big thing has been that we've been very thoughtful around whether the story which goes on to a Star Plus or Life OK, the question that we ask ourselves is not whether it's a good story or a bad story, but whether it is the right story for Star Plus, is the right story for Life OK, which fundamentally means that we're very thoughtful around whether a story should go on Star Plus or not. It may be a great story, but it may or may not be right for Star Plus. So really thinking about what is the positioning of the channel, and hence the positioning of the story in each of the pieces that we have put on here. So I think that has been, to me, the primary reason that we have stayed in the position that we have stayed in. And the second big reason that I would add is the quality of people that that Star has, both the diversity of thinking and the power of ideas that they bring to the table. And that really makes it possibly the place which continues to create new ideas and new thoughts continuously, which are ahead of the market. I think roughly we would be taking between all our Hindi channels, which we include Star Plus, Life OK and Channel V in the Hindi entertainment space. I think we will be close to 40% would come from a viewership point of view, and a very similar number in my mind from a revenue point of view as well, is what they will contribute to the overall Star portfolio. Yeah, I think both channels first should deliver content which people enjoy to watch. They should be exciting, entertaining content and strong characters. But at the core message which Star Plus really anchors itself on is around that the characters in Star Plus challenge status quo, and therefore they take the families towards a new leap or progress on the back of challenging the norms in the society and challenging status quo. And when I look at Life OK, the characters there really underline the power of what I would call Parivar and Sanskar. That these two are really important pillars, and if we need to be happy and contented and prosperous, we are strong. It has to be rooted in Parivar and Sanskar. And fundamentally, these two are the two distinct pillars that each of these channels stand on. And every story and every character that we do has to fundamentally be true to the philosophy of each of these channels. I think what we are very focused on investment is not only in terms of investment in rupees, but investment in terms of thought leadership and ideas. So fundamentally, we are really willing to take risks and willing to challenge status quo. So if I look at a channel like Star Plus, it's a channel which has created a show like Satayameva Jayate, when others thought that possibly this was not even entertainment content, and it challenged status quo. It really touched the issues which are very core to this society, but possibly not thought of that entertainment channel can get into that space. Equally, when I look at Mahabharata, we have gone ahead and challenged, and Mahabharata has been told before, and we said, can we tell it in a different way, in a more thoughtful way, in a way which is relevant for today's society? And I thought both in terms of thought as well as money that we invested was significantly, maybe 6 times of what we normally invest on any other show. And the same is true for, let's say, a show like Everest that we are doing now, and which again is a show which is being put together by none other than but one of the foremost Bollywood producers and directors, which is Ashutosh Govarikar, and an entire team of people working with him to really create content which is far more thought through, a limited hours of content which goes on air in the coming month. So our investment is fundamentally in finding those powerful ideas and ensuring that we get the right people in putting together the right creative talent, whether it is directing, whether it is putting the writing skills, editing, and investing it possibly ahead of the market and ahead of others is what has really differentiated us. I think that's what really is the core to the success of Star, I would say, compared to a lot of its competitors in the same genre. I think I'll take it at 2 levels. One is from a consumer point of view and second is from a business point of view. From a consumer point of view, I think digitization has been a game changer. As a consumer, I used to get 30 to 40 channels on my television set. And The choice was limited. If I looked at Hindi entertainment, I'll get 2-3 channels, 2-3 movie channels. Today, every consumer in digitized context gets 300 to 400 channels on their TV sets. So there are choices have increased dramatically, 10 times to 20 times of what people used to get earlier. And that has created a big revolution as far as the content choice and the way I consume content as a consumer. And that's a big dramatic shift from earlier. And that's very good from a consumer point of view, and that really raises the challenge from a content creator point of view, that you have to be better, you have to be sharper, you have to have better quality to go through the standard that consumers expect today. And therefore it has made it the business to be far more leaner and on the edge and far more quality oriented than they were possibly 5 years back. And that has been the good part of the digitization. I think from a business point of view, the fundamental value equation has not changed, because I think most of the digital cable has not been able to leverage the power of this content, differentiated content, really in any way change the ARPUs being, or the way consumers are paying for content in a significant way. No tiering has been possible. So fundamentally the value equation has not changed from a business point of view even after the digitization, especially in digital cable. And I think that is some way to go. And that would be the part which would really start changing. So even today, the contribution of subscription to the total revenues remains at a level where it was 3 to 5 years back at around 30-35% of the total revenues from a broadcaster point of view. Largely the markets are 65% subscription and 35% advertising.
Okay.
So that's where the real big change would happen. And that will also get content creators to invest a lot more behind content, because all that money will go in providing better quality content and hopefully a better experience to our viewers. I think advertising, the number of brands which are able to put their ads on television have to grow dramatically in our country. So if I look at the number of brands which put their ads on TV today across market is roughly around 10,000 brands. Number of brands which advertise, let's say on newspapers, will be around 200,000. And there is a big gap. And I think if you are able to provide a TV platform to advertisers in the space of television, especially in Hindi speaking markets, which have largely been one single market and you've not been able to segment, especially on television, is a great opportunity. And I think what we are doing is something what we call ad sharp, where a person, if he wants to put an ad only in Delhi or only on UP, it can be put on a channel like Star Plus. And that's something in my mind which will open up the market for a large number of small advertisers who never thought that they could put. And they don't need to reach out to the audience in entire HSM, but a small part of that HSM. They would have a platform available. So that's something which I feel over the next few years could potentially change the way the advertisers who wanted to be in very specific geographies, they will be able to come on television and build their brands in a very local, regional way. I think fundamentally, I think the challenge for growth from a business investment point of view is in the area of subscription. That unless that pool of money increases and that can flow through to content creators, I think that is one area which needs to be changed dramatically. So that will be my view on
Focus point.
the focal point.